So he definitely need to go out and establish himself early and win this championship. You don't know if you're going to get a next opportunity.
Here's round number 1, scheduled for 12. The IBF Cruiserweight Championship on the line. And this should be a contrast of styles, as we see both listed at 6'1". Cunningham appears to be the taller fighter, and he's good at fighting from long range, Glenn.
Yeah, definitely. Steve, I thought it was going to be the reverse where but Steve is actually being the boxer.
Got to the chin, getting home by Wlodarczyk. Cunningham was stiffed a few times. He set up. Couldn't get a fight for about easy in the gym from the great fighting city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
That's kind of throw him off balance a little bit.
Cunningham able to get away, showing good head movement, good footing. For a lanky, tall fighter, Cunningham appears to be extremely strong in the upper body.
Using it to the body, using it to the head. You're just throwing himself up.
That exchange. Cunningham comes out firing once. It's going to be a good one. Good contrasting styles, making for a good fight here. And a tough round to score here.
Themselves. I would say this one an even round.
Just a question of taste as we look at a replay of whether you prefer
the right hand where he leans away, throw that right hand. That's what I don't like.
She's in that round, but perhaps the more effective ones. And Cunningham did establish his speed and his ability to move around. Round 2, scheduled for 12, IBF Cruiserweight Championship, which is vacant right now. It's going to be filled by one of these two warriors. Wlodarczyk pressing the action and pressing Cam once again, showing us his good footwork and his quick jab. 18 wins. Cunningham does appear to have some power and some upper body strength, Glenn.
Yeah, Cunningham using the jab. He's certainly the boxer of the two. Yeah, certainly. He's not being a stationary target. And this is a good thing about a guy moving backwards and using establish the distance. He's taking control of this front round, kind of taking control of him at the end of his punches, and he's throwing combination and step back.
And yet trying to establish his offense here in the early going. Good right hand that time, just missed. Wlodarczyk continues to press.
On straight right hands.
Coming towards the end of round number 2, thus far a good round for Steve USS Cunningham, but as I say that, he gets nailed by a shot by Wlodarczyk and then counters. The battle line's clearly established as we come to the close of round number 2. Good round overall for Steve USS Cunningham.
Yeah, certainly. I believe he won that round.
It's just been around a long time. You see some action here from round number 2. And the finishing blows by Wlodarczyk may be the more telling of the punches that have been landed so far.
Yeah, certainly. Cunningham is giving, you know.
But a difficult task for Cunningham is if it does go to the
guy hometown, anything the guy do, the fight is over. So they got to be careful what they're doing over there.
It's the warning from Tony Weeks. Good right hand, meanwhile, lands to the box speed.
Yeah, definitely. Steve is moving around nicely. See him again. So
Wlodarczyk willing to walk through some of these punches, though, trying to land a home run ball.
Well,
Big right hand,
yeah, definitely. You know, Wlodarczyk is a guy that want to fight between him and Cunningham. He's uncomfortable. He's not
throwing some accurate perspective for him. Right?
Yes, certainly. As soon as the guy step in, you give him the right hand and tie him up.
He's showing a lot of ring savvy so far. And again, the lead right hand by Cunningham to open the exchange. What a good.
No, he's a weaker guy. Following his game plan.
And nailed by a left hook. Round number 3. Another apparently good round for Steve USS Cunningham. And at the bell, a vicious exchange, but
they throw the overhand right.
You see the combination work of Steve USS Cunningham. And Wlodarczyk with good short ball. The vacant IBF Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Steve Cunningham to open up round number 4. That lead right hand knock on Wlodarczyk through his career. And he's been in a
careful fight here. You know, you only
the body of Cunningham. Slow him down a little bit and maybe cut the distance and be able to get inside, land some
catch Cunningham in between punches. He's not trying to extra. He's not trying to take control. Or trying to be a counter puncher.
And he is there effectively.
Yeah, definitely.
He's thrown a tremendous volume of punches.
Yeah, well, certainly all depends on who's just get influenced. And that's why you got to take control of the fight when you're fighting overseas.
Inside, doing a good job of keeping Krzysztof Wlodarczyk off him.
Certainly, Cunningham is doing the work. He's winning the fight so far. Throw a little low blow right there. And this guy only want to try and close the round
To get over-enthusiastic about it and coming out of his breaks. And here's the underground number.
The other guy's not doing anything. He's just basically just trying to stifle right there. He throws some inside shots. Nice uppercut that missed from Cunningham right there. Good uppercut.
I think you have it, Glenn, 3-0 and 1 even.
Yeah, I have the first round even, and I have Cunningham winning. Well, he's coming for it, but he's not throwing the. Cunningham is doing a very good job of throwing.
Wlodarczyk tasting some leather as he tries to get in those power shots into that right hand. The jabs now backs up. Cunningham won't allow Wlodarczyk to put too much pressure on him.
I would really like to see him do more of, step to Wlodarczyk and throw combination and get him to back up.
Against the ropes, not necessarily the territory. Some short punches inside, and the uppercut's been effective, but you see the power of
the lead right hand all day. Guy just got to get in position and throw that punch.
Wlodarczyk press with the style of Steve USS.
You have DIABLO throwing a few punches in there and landing because he's being careless. Nice body shot.
Just have to wonder if set by Steve USS Cunningham so far.
Cunningham, when he get close, and he's not being.
That Cunningham's been enjoying throughout the fight. Good left hand that time gets through, and a short uppercut on the inside to close out the round. Not necessarily a huge puncher, and you see Wlodarczyk very clever on the inside.
Yeah, certainly. And Steve, now he's starting to be a little more stable. Wlodarczyk off of him.
Steve Cunningham, with the US of A with the stars on his trunks. For 12, vacant IBF Cruiserweight Championship at stake. Side of a year. Saw a couple of fights fall. He was the mandatory #1 contender in the IBF. Come back to haunt him later on in this fight. Wlodarczyk just posing in front of him, another knock on his style. You can see who has the punching power. It's clearly Wlodarczyk as he goes to hook.
Yeah, he's landing punches now.
Be a good one. If it hasn't been already. Good fast pace in this fight. Wlodarczyk starts. Cunningham not as busy with the footwork, although he does.
Missing a lot of punches now. He's throwing it off.
The jab. We come inside the final 30 seconds of round number 6. As Wlodarczyk is starting to find a home for those short lefts and rights.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he's coming with a game plan and his game.
And I also gave that round to Wlodarczyk. You get to see some action from round number 6. We're at the midway point of this title fight for the IBF Cruiserweight Championship. And a strong left hand got through. Cunningham acknowledges, you hit me with a good shot on that one.
Nice right hand over the audience, so that's always exciting.
Always good to see royalty ringside. Mixed in with the hot babes as well.
But use his leg, establish his jab and right hand behind it. A little more accuracy.
Very torrid pace early in the fight. And then finds his opponent starting to
try to focus on that and go back and capture that himself again.
You can see the distance closing as Wlodarczyk continues to pour in with big, heavy.
Definitely, he's throwing a lot of.
A little bit as boxers take a little bit of a breather, but no such luck for Cunningham. He gets nailed with a right hand. Neither fighter's been down in this fight. Neither fighter appears to be marked. Wlodarczyk was strong early and looks like he might be getting stronger as the spin on the ropes. With rare exception, he's found himself on the short end of the exchange.
Going on there. This guy
on a little bit more of a contemporary American style than the standard European style that you normally see, Glenn.
Keep a hand loose and a hand free where he could use it on his landing shot with that hand.
There's the bell end in round number 7, and the pattern of this fight, we get a look at a replay of action in the corner, and Wlodarczyk, a left hand, the first one got home, second one missed, and he's very quick on the
that's the rounds that gonna establish who is the champion. They're moving their hands a lot.
And that's why a lot of people can punch. And these guys both go about 190 pounds.
No, these guys are good fighters.
Through the middle rounds, Wlodarczyk coming forward, Cunningham trying to avoid.
When the guy get inside, hold him on.
Wlodarczyk coming forward with less impunity than he was earlier in the fight. Maybe sensing that, as we mentioned, Cunningham never known as a huge puncher. Cunningham.
Philly. Don't matter what his record is, he's a fighter. The sparring that you get in Philadelphia is better than any fight you will see anywhere.
Power of Wlodarczyk. Hasn't been stunned, hasn't been wobbled.
Neither now in the later rounds.
And Cunningham has abandoned that uppercut that was a left hand. There's the bell, end of round 8. Another interesting round. This matchup for the IBF Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Scorecard, depending on what angle you had in the ring. You see Cunningham doing some good work there with a combination, and then the short inside punching skills of Wlodarczyk.
Seems like everything is even up right about now.
Cruiserweight Championship on the line here in Warsaw. Certainly knows about going to the pencil. Sometimes that can be the hardest blow to take. The hometown favorite, Krzysztof.
And he's certainly doing a good job.
He cuts the distance down, and he has a tendency to just pose a little bit instead of throwing punches. If he let his hands go
on the inside posing, he was able to throw a lot of inside.
But a good fight so far, almost dead even in our opinion. Wlodarczyk, same pattern. This has almost been a mirror against the ropes, and then get inside and do some damage.
Yeah, Steve is throwing those punches, shots, and Diablo. He's not.
Volume of punches by Wlodarczyk not necessarily there, but week's warning that in a close fight. Final seconds, round just a bit.
You know, you just throw a wide uppercut.
Oh,
nice
big right hand that time
yeah.
by Steve Cunningham. And in a close round, that could turn out to be the difference.
Oh, definitely.
He badly needed Glenn to establish himself again in this fight, as he looked so good early. He was doing everything perfect. Tonight might be the difference.
Yeah, well,
there you see it.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good shot. But, you know, it's hard for me to give him the round and just that one punch. He's missing.
Vacant IBF Cruiserweight Championship is at stake. It was held. Had a problem with a tooth and ended up having to cancel, and the IBF forcing this matchup. And here he is about a year later, finally getting his shot. Hungry enough to make it pay off. Travel along, trying to put up enough pressure to deny Cunningham this shot at the...
He just, Cunningham just needs J. And I believe that he's not going to catch his second win like that. He's just going to get
thrown a tremendous number of punches, exerting a lot of energy. And he's exchanged his health scale. And Cunningham
up together. He throwing the jab from his knees, basically. And
he's going to the fighter in the center of the ring. Wlodarczyk's big success has come when he's back combinations, but a left and a right. Maybe he's been a
short punches on the inside in the fight if he didn't already have that in his arsenal.
Good job by Cunningham of resurrecting his game plan here and along the ropes. Good left hand there by Wlodarczyk to close it out. Appear to be any the worse for wear. Maybe a little bit low on that body shot, but a nice combination by Cunningham. And very close to a clash of heads in there, which could be dangerous at this stage.
Yeah, certainly. That's the last thing you and cost a cut. That's not a good feeling knowing that you almost finished.
At stake, Steve Cunningham has barely been staggered in this fight. Again, Wlodarczyk, good job on the inside, with Wlodarczyk trying to capitalize.
Yeah, certainly. He tried to throw some short punches there, which is
legs of Steve USS Cunningham, understandable. Jab was effective, very much so.
You see, he did a good thing there. He wasn't comfortable, and he
checked just 25 years old. Cunningham 30 customers.
Nice
left-right combination. Answer for it. Out of Cunningham's arsenal right now, and that video does indeed go to the scorecards.
You know, it's a close fight, and you certainly
felt the pain of the pencil many times, especially in the early stages.
You know, it's the crowd is influencing the judges.
Good rally by Cunningham to close out round 11, and yet another.
These rounds are close. They basically toss up. It's all about who you like in the fight. But this is not the kind of fight you want to have in the next man hometown. But
you get Wlodarczyk's corner. Now it could be decided in round number 12. I have Cunningham 3 points ahead in this fight. I gave him the last. Wlodarczyk, I thought, swept the middle rounds. Round 5 Cruiserweight Championship at stake. Steve USS Cunningham dancing around and throwing that left.
Separating himself from.
And it wouldn't be, that could affect his strategy in round number 12. Blunder, though, sometimes. We've seen it go both ways, where it ends up catching some shots and maybe losing a 2-point round and losing the title.
And be as careful as you.
Here in his hometown of Warsaw, Poland, little more than a minute to go, and both guys know it.
Yeah, definitely.
Some signs of wear and tear here in round number 12 inside the final minute.
Uppercut on the inside.
Staving off severe damage. Number 12, this is the final round. Not aims him a title. We shall see. There's the bell to end round number 12. Good fight all the way through. And I thought round 12 was a good one for Steve USS Cunningham. Split decision coming. And then you have the declaration of the winner, Glenn, and you know what this feeling's all about. After the American judge gave the score to Cunningham, 119-109, perhaps a little bit out of whack with our scoring, and I think we both had Cunningham the winner. Two judges, 116-112, 115-113 for Krzysztof Wlodarczyk, and he is the new IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the world.